Sorry, yeah, my kitten like pulled my light out of the fucking wall. So anyway, that one went out. But let's keep going with this. So I also want to talk about this idea for a second because like this is like a channel of just me, and I'm not gonna say that I'm like low maintenance, but like I my whole life, like I've strived for an average lifestyle. Like that's been my goal. Like I've never been the person to have goals of like uh riches and fame and anything. Like not my goal at all. But then weird stuff happened with like the internet and media and all of these things, and it made it feel like I didn't see any the part that I hated was I didn't see any representation of people like me. And then I looked around and I was like, yeah, but I have more than all of these other people. Not all of them, but like quite a lot of them. And like they were using like social media to get clout to kind of like get more shit, but in reality like the whole path of like the clout chasing Instagrammers who are like showing you whatever, like there are a lot of people who are taking camera angles and like the way that they edit to make it seem like they have this life that they don't. Because this is what I want people who watch this channel to understand. Like I don't know where you are in the world. I don't know you. Maybe I do if you're a person that I know. Hi. If you're a person though that like I feel like I haven't really talked to anyone I know in the real world about this channel. Some people have happened to stumble across it, but I didn't actually. I purposely done that because I wanted people to find my channel either like pretty organically. Like I wanted to let the algorithm take as much time as needed. It's been a while. Well, not like that long, but it's been some time where like I've been talking about stuff and it like nobody really has been like listening. Um, and I'm not really mad about that. Like I knew that eventually, and I don't even feel like looking at my analytics now. Even the audience that I feel like I have is not necessarily the audience that I want to keep. Like I hope that some of you guys are offended by some of the content and you leave. Like that doesn't offend me. Like I want this channel to be a space for maybe like black girls who live in the real world. Like or if you're a father or something, I guess like that one has been pretty interesting. It's the black men who have black daughters, and they just kind of like want maybe like a little bit of insight into like what's going on. So they just want like a regular black girl to talk about stuff. I'm glad to be that. Like that's fine. But like another thing that's really interesting, like I was talking to one of my male coworkers today. He found out that I grew up Buddhist, and like to me, it was totally normal. Like that's the other thing I want to explain. The things that you go through in your life personally are normal for you. So like if you have like toxic parents, then toxic parenthood is normal for you. If you grow up in a like middle class neighborhood where everybody grows up with two parents and everybody goes to college and everybody has a career and everybody has a car and everybody has a job and everybody's married, then those are the things that are normal to you. Like whatever is you're surrounded by is like normal to you. Now the problem with like segregation and like class separation and all those types of things are that things have been normalized for a lot of like white society where they are starting to call things like coffee white. Like the most popular coffee beans come from Africa. So for you to be like coffee is white is like you took it way far. Like you took it like so far beyond like reality that it's kind of funny. Like I'm gonna need y'all to hold up. And then I just want to speak for a second to like I guess I've got the stands now. I feel like this is like the incel stan community who's like come to my channel to tell me how unattractive I am. No, this is great. I'm here for the comments. Unless you make something a comment that's like totally absurd that I feel like would be how do you say it? Like hurtful to younger black women. Like the comments where you say like, "Oh, there's really nothing you can say about my appearance actually that would make me feel like that." But some of the comments are kind of like they're just like absurd in a way where you're just like abstract from reality, and I don't have the patience to like correct it. So it's just better if you take that energy to a different space so that someone else could unpack it. All the comments that I leave on the page I do see them. I'm not ignoring them. But like if you say something that I feel like is absurd, I'm not going to comment on it. But sometimes I will use it as a piece to comment on because I definitely have a response to every single comment, but I don't think a lot of them are worth my comments, which is why I don't comment on them. Like, I think a lot of you guys live in delusional echo chambers where you are like always pointing to someone else to say something. Like, when I'm saying something, I'm pointing to myself. So this is like me going out into the real world, and I gotta say, there's really no point in my life where I haven't experienced a multicultural society. Like if I went to a predominantly white school, then maybe I went to like a smaller African American or people of color after school program. If I went to like a predominantly like uh European, ballet school, then I also went to like a hip hop international dance camp. So it was kind of like I always had my foot in both worlds. When there was never, but I will say like in terms of like where I lived, where I go to school, and I feel like those are like the formative experiences that kind of create who you are. It's like interactions with your schoolmates, interactions with just people that like you spend a lot of years in school. So I feel like that's kind of like the most important in a sense. Like those are the relationships that mean something to you, because like something that the one comment that like some stranger on the internet makes to you isn't gonna like shape your life, but someone who you've grown up with since like kindergarten, went to school with you all the way through your senior year, even if you're not like close with that person, they do know something about you because they've watched you progress for like 12 grade school years where they spent 8 hours with you a day. That's formative, right? I'm saying that to say, like, people are sitting here pretending like the black girls were born yesterday or something. Like, we also haven't had social experiences, like understanding pretty privilege and what that means, how to get it and interact with it and stuff. So for people to like be in my comments, be like, "Oh my god, it's absurd that you say that. Like you're not even pretty. You're not even this." I will tell you this. I feel like if and this is specifically like PSA, black girls, start listening now. We don't have very many examples of what it looks like to actually be pretty and black. And I really mean that. Look at all of the girls who are like rich, who have the shit. We've got like Meg the Stallion, JT, I don't know. I wouldn't consider Cardi B. I just whatever. Sierra, right? They all wear like all day long. Even as you see them in their homes with their fucking children, they've got lace front wigs, full faces of makeup, all type of shit, right? If you look, every other culture has like a normalized version of like what it's like to be just white and just like in America, like the plain Jane version. Which is the funny thing about this is like people are now considering like because Taylor Swift has like marketed this experience of like the plain Jane person. Now people are thinking like she looks plain Jane and she is plain Jane. And this, for those of us who are living in the real world, let's just contextualize this for a second. Taylor Swift grew up upper middle class in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a state that is pretty affluent, and she was affluent in the state that she grew up in. And it's like really, really white. So it wasn't even multicultural. It was just basically primarily white. That's where she grew up. That's like who she is in America. That's not an average experience. First of all, in the population of America, only like 20 or 30% of the general population is upper middle class. 20% of 100%, that means 80% of the people are not upper middle class. Then there's some other shit that you have to normalize. Like only 50% of the population is fucking female. This is why you have to like distinguish between the genders. Think about it. Every single year, when people were asking for shit for Christmas when you were a kid, if you were upper middle class, that means you can actually you can ask for shit and you're gonna get it. If you're middle class, if you ask for shit, if your parents have jobs, okay, any job, like if you ask for stuff, you're gonna get some of the stuff that you want, probably most of it. She was probably asking for like makeup and dolls and dresses, toys, something. Some part of her experience, she's like literally been able to chronicle girl world. She's not chronicling girl world because she didn't live in girl world. She's chronicling girl world because she fucking lived in girl world. What? You can't write Taylor Swift songs if you haven't lived the experience, you fucking idiots. Like, you retards. Like, have you seen the other girls out here? The girls on the internet, like, this is a good example. Zoe Unlimited. She's made multiple videos where she talks about how she's never had a boyfriend. She doesn't have any experience with the other gender. She just literally just sits here in front of the camera and just says shit to you guys. I did this. I think that. Do you know how many hours these bitches like rehearse this shit before they come on and say it to you? Do you know how many hours they spend in like hair and makeup in the gym to come online and talk to you guys to be like, I am so this, I am so that? You need an example of somebody who doesn't do that. You need an example of somebody who doesn't do that who's black. Wow. If you're black, let me be this example for you. We are not Sierra. We are not Meg Thee Stallion. Even though I'm not degrading those women, I think that those women have their own things. They have their own beauty treatments that they invest in and believe in. I don't know. If you could afford them, I suppose, go get them. But also, I think you should really invest in just like a $3 or $4 bottle of Head and Shoulders shampoo and like actually wash your fucking hair to make sure it's healthy. And I like found a bottle of like $3 herbal essence conditioner. Actually, I'll get it. I actually just bought it. It was great. Okay, all kittens, I'm coming in. So yeah, it's like this like sulfate free. I think this was like $6 or $7, right? A Real Botanicals bottle. I saw some people were telling black women, don't show up to my events with your natural hair. That is so fucking funny. Wait, okay, actually let's stop for